Our guest this lunchtime is a very familiar voice to those of you who follow our football coverage on 5 Live. He's part of the BBC team. He's been covering the recent Euros, a man who made a career scoring goals for Crystal Palace, Birmingham City, Sheffield Wednesday, amongst others, and represented the Republic of Ireland on 36 occasions, scoring 9 times. A big cricket fan, has been watching from the Radcliffe Road stand this morning, so it's lovely to see Clinton Morrison here in the TMS box. Clinton,
good afternoon.
good man, a shake of the hand. But you're used to all this. You just sit there now in these commentary boxes, you know, and you're used to the scene, aren't you? Usually people come in and go, wow, look at this.
I have gone wow. It is wow because I'm with different people and I'm with a legend like yourself, so it is different and it's a different sport. But no, I thoroughly enjoy my cricket. I've enjoyed my cricket from a young age. I really like it. I'm trying to get more of my friends in to watch Test match cricket because I think Test match cricket is outstanding as well.
You've already won a point for saying that, as far as I'm concerned. No, you have, with the Test cricket, because that's kind of the thing. Did you play? That's the first thing to ask you.
I played when I was at school. I wasn't the best. When I used to play when I was younger, I used to think I'll be all right. I was a bowler, so I was a fast bowler, and they were saying, "Oh, Clint, maybe you need to go up the order and bat." I said I can't bat. The ball was too quick when they're bowling, quick bounces. I was trying to duck my way out of it. So I played at school, and then I realised football was for me, and cricket's my second sport.
Yeah, I guess you have to make that choice in the end. But see, that's a typical bullying fast bowler. You bowl fast, you scare everybody else.
Yes.
And then when it comes to your turn, you say, "Oh, no, thank you."
No, thank you. Yeah, I was like that. And even in fielding, I'd say, get someone else onto field and I'll just wait, and when it's my time to bowl, I'll come back and bowl, but can't do that nowadays.
Did you want to be better? Was it frustrating? Did you want to be a better cricketer?
I definitely wanted to be a better cricketer. As I said, I love the sport. I think it's a fantastic sport and it's brilliant. I always want to be the hero at stuff, and I would love to have been the hero playing cricket, but as I said, I was better at scoring goals than I was bowling and batting.
Yeah. So therefore you'll watch a lot of cricket.
Yeah, I love it. I like it as much as I like football. Obviously football will always tip it because I played football, but I love cricket. I watch all sorts of cricket. Every cricket that's on the TV, I will sit down and watch it. People say I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. I just love the sport.
It can take 5 days.
And I watched the whole Test match for 5 days. It doesn't bore me. You know when people say about Test matches, it's not boring. You have to sit there. There's an art of that. It's like I was just speaking there to Sir Alistair Cook, who's a legend who I've just met there, and we were just talking and makes a good point. Sometimes football games are boring. They're not the best. Not every football game is boring. You only have a day in cricket or a session in cricket where it's not good. It doesn't mean Test match is not good. And I think what Ben Stokes has done for Test match and this England team took it to another level.
You were saying that, I don't know if it was reported or not, but you reckon that Ben Stokes had been to talk to the England team?
Yeah, I think he had. I hope I haven't got this wrong, but I heard someone saying it. I think it was when Aaron Ramsdale was on the other day and said Ben Stokes had been down, and he's obviously gone down to watch training before they went to the Euros, and I think he was speaking to some of the players at St George's Park. And listen, me personally, you meet someone like Ben Stokes, who I think is a fantastic cricketer. It helps, and it's different sports, isn't it? Like you have football, it's different sports where they can talk to each other, and I think Ben Stokes is a legend, so you're going to listen to him, aren't you? Yeah,
and you can sense that crossover between what would make what Ben Stokes has to say to a footballer relevant, do you think?
He's a winner. It's winning mentality, and he breeds winning. And what I like him as a captain is sometimes someone's not having a good day in the field, he's always encouraging them. Sometimes in football you don't always get encouraged, and you're thinking, when my next chance come, how am I going to put that in the back of the net, because I'm still thinking about the one that I missed before, and that could be where someone's dropped a catch or someone hasn't bowled well and it's been hit for 4 or 6. So I think he's a fantastic, and what I like about him as his captaincy is there's pressure on him to deliver. And 9 times out of 10, he does deliver. I know he'll be disappointed getting out with that shot, like he did in the first innings where he was flying. But that's the competitor in Ben Stokes, and for me, he's a legend.
Yeah, and it's interesting because clearly a major difference between the sports, or so it would appear to a non-footballer like me, is that actually the role of the captains are very different. And in cricket, clearly the captain is the leader, he's the influencer, he is that. Yes. Whereas in football, I don't know, the guy runs around with a band on, but does he do much more than that?
No, you're right. I think in football you can have 11 captains, where on the cricket Ben Stokes is the main captain. Even you'll have voices, because someone like Joe, who used to captain, might go in his ear and say something to him. But when it comes to football, I think if the captain's not having a good day on the pitch, who's going to bring the captain up? Because you still need someone to lift you up if you're not performing on the pitch. And I think that's where you can have 11 captains. Because in football, where he's been given the captain, don't mean he's the best player in the team. What it means is he's the best leader, either on the pitch or in the dressing room. Because I think captains play a key role in the dressing room.
Right.
How they are with when you get certain players who are quiet, that go into their shell. I captained at a few clubs I was with, but I was a bubbly person. You couldn't shut me up, as everyone knows. You can't shut me up. I talk too much sometimes, and that's why I'm probably good at doing the commentary, because I don't know when to be quiet.
No.
But I think that's where you can have captains who are like that. And you know some players that need an arm around the shoulder, or maybe some players that need to say, you're not at it this afternoon, you need to liven yourself up.
Could a captain be more influential on the football field? Or is there that very defined role? You got the coach on the sidelines and so on. Would it get confusing?
No, because I think once what the managers and the coaches are good at is the day-to-day. So from Monday to Friday when you're training, they deal with everything. And if there's a situation with players, I think you have leaders and the captains, and then the captains can have 2 or 3 people with him that manage the dressing room, and that's what the manager does. And when you've crossed that white line and you go over and you take to the pitch, there's nothing a manager can do. It's all, and not every day you're going to perform when you go onto that football pitch, but that is where your captain can sense where a player needs an arm around the shoulder or says, come on, you're better than that, let's deliver. And I think with football, you have your first touch or your first tackle or your first shot and you hit the target, you feel you're going to have a good session. It's like cricket. I think if your timing of the first stroke and it goes to the boundary, you're thinking, I could be here for a long one. And if you don't bowl well, you're thinking this could be a long day.
Yeah, and of course the batsman only gets one shot.
That's what I'm saying.
You're gone.
Well, that's different. Where I can miss 8 chances in front of goal, and the batsman can nick it and get caught.
You might
behind.
get to a stick if you missed 8, I think.
If I missed 8, but then it's still 0-0, but I scored a winner in the 90th minute. Everyone forgets about that 8.
You're a hero.
As a batsman, you're not a hero, are you? Because you nicked it and you got caught behind or at slip. So it's a difficult one, but yeah, I never missed 8 though. I only probably missed 1.
What? Oh, and per match?
No, I'm only joking. Yeah, per match.
That sounds fair enough. So who do you know? When you're going and watching your cricket live, where do you tend to go?
Well, to be fair, I got into the cricket because my good friend who I grew up with, Alex Tudor, he used to take me to Surrey.
Oh, right, okay.
Obviously, Alex Tudor got me into the cricket massively because we grew up in the same area, so I'd always go to Surrey.
What a lovely man. His dad works at the Oval.
Yeah, his dad. Now he's back in Barbados. Yeah, but he was always there. Yeah, he's back living in Barbados with the sunshine. Can't blame him, can you really? Truly.
Alex Tudor in that 99.
99. Oh, yeah. I told him.
Like Watchman.
Yeah, but it's better for him. He's more famous for not getting 100. Everyone would have forgotten for the 99. So he still has nightmares about that. But no, and then I used to go and see, I call him Uncle Alex Stewart because he's a legend, a big Chelsea fan, and I always rib him about that. But he's good. Mark Ramprakash and Butch, I always used to go in the change room and they'd bring me in there. And I just used to grow into it. And that's what made me love cricket. And then you just watch the different eras and stuff like that. And I like it. People look at me and say, "Oh, how could you sit there and watch it?" I said, because it's an entertaining sport.
Yes. Do you think it's accessible enough? I mean, you're from Tooting.
Yes.
When I walked out to bat in 1984, West Indies.
Yes.
That left-hand side was full of West Indian supporters. They're all gone. You know, they've been kind of priced out. There's cricket in schools has kind of gone for the majority of people.
I think we need to get that back. It's
behind a paywall. So it's hardly surprising.
It is, and it costs a lot of money. I totally understand that. I think
sport.
It's an expensive sport, but I think we can do more for the youngsters because I think there's a lot of talent. It's the same where we're looking at football and you see different backgrounds. Not everyone can afford to send their son to the top of the range football club or batting or bowling, whatever they want to do, but so it's difficult. But I think more can be done for youngsters to come through because there's a lot of youngsters that do like the cricket, but it does take time. But if you're good, I always feel, John, if you're good enough, you'll have a chance to make it one way or the other. A circle will come round and you'll get your opportunity.
Yeah. Don't you think you have to be able to see it though? Do you have to be able to see your heroes? I mean, I used to sit and watch a test match on the telly, a bit like you when I was a kid, shut the curtains, black and white telly in those days. But then you could see, in my case, Jon Snow or Ray Illingworth or these people, you could see them. And then you'd think, I want to be him. And you'd go out and pretend you're Ray Illingworth with your tongue poking out of your side of your mouth when he bowled. And all those little things, you know.
You know what I would say to anyone you're doubting cricket. Come and watch cricket live. I think once you come and watch cricket live, it's different watching it at home on the TV, but you think it's slow. When you come and watch it live and you're in the atmosphere and you see, when they're setting the field and where people are going and the bowling and here, because I'm watching it live, and when I've been watching it at TV, you don't know the wicketkeeper stands so far back. Because the ball is travelling. At home, you don't think he's bowling that quick. Obviously, you think Mark Wood is, because I thought the spell the other day is one of the best I've ever seen. That is in terms of football, where you're in front of goal and you're having every shot and you've got a goalkeeper who's amazing and you're not getting any luck or you're hitting the post. I thought Wood the other day, his spell is fantastic. And
he got nothing.
He got nothing. But I like players like that, wholehearted, brilliant. The only thing I would say is maybe when he's doing his run-up, don't keep falling over.
He always has done.
I know he always has that. But then when he does his warm-up, you never see him falling over.
No, you don't.
So that could be something that is in his head mentally.
So much effort. So much. Just
fantastic bowler, though.
Can you imagine facing a cricket ball coming at you at 97 miles?
No, I can't.
Can you imagine it for a nanosecond?
You know what I would have done? If he's Mark Woods, I'd kept putting my hand up. No, I'm not ready, umpire. And then I'd say to the dressing room, I've got to go off. I've got to go off. I can't face Mark Wood. He's a brilliant bowler.
Or move that sight screen between him and me.
Yes, exactly.
It is, and you're right. I always say to people, fast bowling, you can sit and watch it on the telly, and it looks pretty quick. You come live and you sit, especially sideways on these grounds, and you see how far back the wicketkeeper is, and you can hardly see that ball going down, can you? It's just a blur.
You can't. Sometimes you can't see it, and then it's in De Silva's hands. Imagine that. Then these West Indian bowlers are nowhere near as quick as what Mark Wood is. So imagine Smith trying to collect the ball when it's Wood, and that's why I have to give credit to the wicketkeeper, sometimes, because when it's coming down and it's wobbling, and to hold on to that must be the hardest job as well, wicketkeeper. They get a lot of stick for dropping catches, but it is hard. It definitely is hard.
Do you follow West Indian cricket particularly well?
I love watching England. I'm a big England fan. I'm a big fan of. And this one bowler, I hope he does come back, because I think he's fantastic and play Test match cricket, is Jofra Archer. I think the way he makes the game look so natural, the way he comes up on bowls. You always have favourite cricketers, and I'd say probably Ben Stokes, Jofra Archer. I like Root. I think Joe Root's fantastic, one of the best batsmen there is out there, makes the game look so easy. But I like West Indies cricket. It's gone downhill, I think, over the years. Not in the T20 or the 50 over, because they've had people like the Universal Boss and Dre Russ who are just entertaining. And
so you're a Chris Gale man?
Oh, I love Chris Gale. I think if I had to bat with Chris Gale and I said we wanted to run a 2, Chris Gale would say we're not running a 2.
No, he wouldn't.
I'm just going to pull it out the stand, to be fair. But I think I do
that's
like
charisma.
That.
I mean,
his charisma.
And it's interesting. I don't know what footballers you have, but in terms of just attracting people to a game, and to a sport,
well, that's
someone like Chris Gale's extraordinary.
Well, that's why I say T20 and 50 over cricket. That's why everyone likes it, in particular T20, because it's a short format. And when you watch someone like Chris Gale and Dre Russ putting it, in the 6, even Carlos Brathwaite, I always remember that. Remember the name when Ian Bishop's that, and I've managed.
Have you met him?
I've met Carlos because we've done Question of Sport before, and I got more cricket questions right more than him.
Well, Carlos?
Yeah, I did.
That's not hard.
It's not hard though, but he's a nice guy, and we still message and we keep in contact. So it's good to keep in contact with him. But I think Test match cricket is different, and we should still be out here watching Test match cricket, because as I said, what Ben Stokes is doing with this England team for Test match cricket is fantastic.
Do you worry about the future of Test match cricket?
I do worry.
So you like all formats, but I mean, can you see Test cricket kind of being pushed into the sidelines?
No, because I think more of the top players have to carry on playing Test match cricket. So you like, obviously, I know Josh Butler's not playing today, but I still like Josh Butler to be playing Test match cricket. I think he's you're obviously one-day captain, but I don't think it will get pushed to the side, because I think when you've got the likes of Ben Stokes who keeps pushing it, and it becomes entertaining. I think when you look at Test match cricket, like when the Lords and it's over in 3 days, that's the frustration.
Yeah, it is.
And then I think you look at West Indies and you're thinking, are they producing? But then you look at West Indies in this match, in the first innings, where a lot of people wrote West Indies off. They were fantastic. Young Hodge, the way he played, the 100 was fantastic. You look at him, you keep trying to bounce him, he just kept hooking it. I thought he was fantastic, some of the shots he played. So, yeah, those young players that they've got there, they've got a big future, West Indies, and I have to keep believing.
Yeah. What was it like for you getting into football? Because a friend of mine has a young son, I think he's about 12 or 13, was having trials up at Notts County, just behind us here. and you could feel the pressure on the young lad for a start, actually, and on the parents as well. And I was thinking, when I was, knew I was going to be talking to you, there are don't get this wrong, there are footballing superstars.
Yeah, of course there is.
Who are out there, their names are in lights.
Yeah, of course.
Others have to do the hard work.
Definitely.
And you make a career out of it.
Yeah.
600 odd games of you play.
Yeah.
But to get into professional football, particularly, I mean, everyone assumes that the pavement is paved with gold.
Yeah.
That that's it.
Yeah.
Your whole life is rosy from then on, which I'm sure isn't the case.
Yeah.
But did you have that sort of pressure on you? Did you feel that you just had to do? What was it like when you were trying to get
No, do you know, it's different for me as a youngster growing up. I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to be as honest as I can here. I didn't have much growing up. It was a single parent, so it was me, my mum and my sister growing up. So we were in a council estate in South London. I knew I had a talent when I was growing up at football. I was determined. I did not want to have my family growing up in that council estate. So every time I went onto that pitch, I had a desire to work hard. You might not be the best, but the one thing I would always say is work hard. You work hard. You look at the best. These are the two best players that, for me, have ever played recently. You look at Ronaldo, you look at Messi. Messi had natural talent. Cristiano Ronaldo had to work hard to get to that talent. He's the best example I could say. And he's up there. That's elite football. But I'm saying anyone who's at 13, it is hard. It is hard. It's all about timing as well and luck. Because you can be one of the best players ever, but when the scout's there watching you that day, you could have an off day and he might say, I can't work with him. And then the player who wasn't as good as what you are gets the opportunity. So it's all about timing. It definitely is timing, but you've got to have natural ability. But what I would say is I got released at Tottenham when I was 14 because I took my foot off the pedal because I thought I'd already made it. Then I went to Palace on trial. I was going to give up football. I didn't want football because it was a big knockback. Went to Palace on trial, scored a hat-trick. Never looked back. After my first season in the youth team, Tottenham came calling again and said, "Oh, could we have you?" And I said, "No, you've released me. I'm at Palace." And then I made my debut when I was nearly 17 in the Premier League for Palace and scored. So you always hear of stories where it doesn't mean as a youngster where you've been released that's the end. No, if you've still got that determination and goal to be successful, you can push yourself, and that's what I always say. But that's in any sport. That's like cricket as well.
Yes.
There'll be players that get knockbacks that think they're not good enough.
But must be so many people trying to get into football.
There is so
many kids. There's so many parents. The pressure that's going on there.
Well, the parents sometimes I've watched a lot try to live their kids' dream because they didn't make it. They're on the sideline shouting at their kids and telling them what to do. And I've seen a lot of that. Sometimes the best thing is let the kids go and enjoy it. At 13 and 14, you're going to get pressure when you get to 19, 20, playing in front of 50,000 fans and you're not producing, and you got someone in the stand telling you you're not good enough. So just let the kids at 13, 14 go and enjoy themselves and play with a smile on your face, because for me, that's the best thing to do.
Yeah, and social media these days must be...
Oh, I'm so glad.
Very tough
when I was playing, that social media wasn't around, because I feel you can get sucked into it and you can look at it, even though you shouldn't look at it, and a lot of people say you just can't help it, can you? And you have the negative comments. I'll be honest with you, when I first went into the co-com stuff and doing the media stuff and the pundit stuff, I would get a bit of stick and it used to bother me. But in the end, you embrace that. And you know what embraces you? You go and prove them wrong, you do your homework and become better, and then you win them over. And the same people who were having a go at you before try to speak to you and be nice to you. You know what I do? I shake their hand and smile at them, because what they want you to do is go and have a go at them. But I don't do that. You have to play the game. You have to play the game really well, and that's what I try to do.
Yeah. Was it easy retiring? I don't know how you finished.
No, I did.
They finished you off?
Yeah, I finished when I was 36. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do in football. I wasn't one of those who spent loads of money. I invested my money, so I was clever with my money. My mum helped me a lot in that instance, and so did my wife. So they helped me a lot. So I invested in a lot into stuff, but it was the hardest thing, because they say prepare that you're going to retire. I never did. I was one of those who always thought I was young and would go and play on forever and ever and ever. And this is probably only the second or third time I've ever said that. I'm one of the most bubbly persons you'll meet. I suffered with a bit of depression. Yeah, I suffered with a bit of depression.
Yeah.
I wouldn't come out the house for a couple of months, because I think not so much where you miss the football on the pitch, is the day-to-day interaction in the change room. Because that was the life and soul of
team.
Yeah, keeping everyone going and stuff like that. So you do miss it. But once I got the opportunity to get into the media, I meet lovely people like yourself and be able to work with lovely people, and that's a big compliment, may I say, because I've met you before we came here and you're a nice guy. So, and you meet good people, and everyone I've met here is brilliant. Faz, I love Faz. I love Faz.
He's very passionate.
But that's what I like. I like passionate people because he still loves the sport now, and he's played it years ago, and he still loves it now. I like the passion. That would be me. In any sport, I like the passion. I want people to do what. Show that it cares. That's the big thing. Show it cares.
Yes.
You know, people have come in here to watch you. Show it cares, and it means a lot to you to represent your country and play.
Did you find it easier going into the media then? I mean, you're a chatterbox, crikey. I mean,
definitely.
I can see that. But
for sure.
But in terms of the discipline, I mean, yeah, I mean, people say, I want to go and do telly and, and do the football, but that's under a spotlight as well. And again, particularly football, I guess, because there's a lot of competition too between the various networks and the commentary teams and all of that. I mean, it's not just a case of rocking up and picking up a microphone, is it?
No, it's not easy, and everyone thinks it is easy. You've got to do your homework. You've got to go out there. You've got to watch the players. You've got to look at their stats and stuff, and then be able to produce. Because if the presenter asks you on a Saturday or in a midweek, and you don't know the answer or don't know the football player, then you shouldn't be doing it. But everyone thinks it's easy because you probably might watch Match of the Day on a Saturday and watch highlights for an hour and a half and think you can just come and talk about every players. But say a youngster's come through and he made his debut and you don't know about him. So that's why I do my homework. I listen to a lot of podcasts, I read a lot, and you have to do it because you don't want to be caught slipping, because everyone wants to come and do the media now. So you need to have that energy. But I'm a bit different to other people because I've got full of energy. So everyone goes, even if Clinton's there, he'd always have energy. And I have fun with it. This is why I have fun with it. It's like now me and you, I've just met you, but I feel like I'm having fun with it. Some people, you could probably come here and be speaking to someone would give you one word answers. But I know I'm as honest as they come, and I enjoy what I do, because I might only do it for the next 3 or 4 years, but I make sure I'll enjoy it for the next 3 or 4 years, because that's what I want to do. Listen, I want to do it for the next 10 or 12 years if I can.
There's always people coming up.
That's what I mean. There's always people coming up. So you've always got to keep on your toes, and you've always got to keep improving and keep doing better. And that's what I'd say to someone. If someone wants to get into the media, you have to work hard at it. It's not natural.
Yeah. And did anyone help you in particular?
I'll tell you what, there's some big names that did help me, to be fair. I remember working once, I was doing a live game, and someone texted me after the game and said, well done, it was a pleasure working with you. So I said to the producer, there's only one person and another person there, and I already had his number. So was it him, the main man? And then I text back, the producer said, yeah, he asked for your number. So I texted him and said, thanks very much, but who is this? And he put number 14. So I was like, okay, I know who number 14 is. So it was Thierry Henry.
Oh, so your text?
One of the, and now we've become friends. Alan Shearer was the same, Premier League record, all-time goal scorer, texted me and said, lovely working with you, keep up the good work. And Ian Wright, they're the three, I'd say, have helped me massively. And now where I work on like Soccer Saturday, me and Paul Morrison have a great relationship, and we check up on each other all the time. But you get to meet all these legends of footballers, and they become your friends, so it's just brilliant.
You know, I said to you that I've never been involved in football. And it's a big regret, but I've never played at my school. Yeah. I've seen one football match in my life.
Yeah.
Arsenal.
Yep.
And I think it was against Portsmouth.
Okay.
And Thierry Henry scored a hat-trick.
Yep. That doesn't surprise anyone that would be listening at Thierry Henry, because in that era, Thierry Henry was the best player in the Premier League.
Well, unbelievable. I was looking at him and thinking that's David Gower.
Yes.
Or Andre Agassi.
Agassi, yeah, because the levels they were at.
Different.
Yes,
there's that little bit more.
Yeah, like David Gower was a fantastic batsman, left-handed. Yes. Andre Agassi with the tennis. Thierry Henry, in that era of the football Premier League, was the best player. You ask any individual who had to play against Thierry Henry or was at the other end watching him, the things he could do with the football and his finishing was fantastic. So
there's something about those two. I mean, Agassi and Henry, they just seem to know in a tennis court or whatever.
Yes,
they seem to know where the ball was going to be.
Yeah, where it's going to be.
They have that little bit ahead. It's like Gower playing the fast bowlers. How is he doing this?
Yeah, how is he doing that and just putting it to the boundary? It's just natural talent. Listen, they've had to work on it, and it is timing, but it's also natural talent as well. But you still have to work. You can have the best natural talent, but if you don't work hard at it, you won't be successful.
Do you find in your experience that people like that, and we're talking now, I suppose, moving on to the England coach scenario.
Yeah.
In my experience, the cricket, often the most natural players are not the best coaches, because it's just happened easily for them, and they can just go out and play, can't they? You mentioned Ronaldo, who has been brilliant, but he worked at his game.
Yeah, he worked at his game.
Whereas there are others, it just happens. But the people who I find are the best coaches are those who have had to work at their game.
Yeah, and it hasn't come naturally.
They can put it. Yes, they can put it. Is that?
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Listen, it doesn't mean because you've had a fantastic football career that you go on to be a fantastic manager. I think sometimes the people who've done the hard graft and have done all their coaching badges and gone to certain places and spoke to certain people that can improve their game. So yeah, it can be like that. It's like where England changed it with the cricket and they brought in Brendan McCullum.
Yes.
And they worked with Ben Stokes. Now, Brendan McCullum, when you watch Brendan McCullum play, Brendan McCullum's not blocking shots.
Oh no,
he's
never has done.
Yeah, he never has done, and that's his mental. That's what his team show now. When England are out there now, they're not just blocking. They're there and they're entertaining, and that's what we're in. We're in a sport that's full of entertainment, so you want to be entertained, and not all the time, because sometimes you can play reckless shots, and you're thinking, why did you do that? Why didn't you just protect? There's only 4 or 5 balls to go in the day, so yeah, but it's a difficult one because with the management,
got to win though.
Yeah, you have to win. That's
win.
what it's all about.
Yeah.
Winning. It is winning. That's what people forget. It's an entertaining sport, but it's also about winning as well. And even if you don't entertain, it's about winning. You could win ugly. That's what I'm saying. Everyone was moaning about England in the Euros. I can guarantee you now, if they played like they had done and beaten Spain in the final, everyone would have forgot about the early stages of moaning at Gareth Southgate about negative football, because he's brought it home for everyone in the country. So yeah, it's a difficult. Being a manager, I think, is the hardest thing.
But surely, again, also being a football manager, you're dealing with multi-millionaire young men.
Yeah.
Of course they're under pressure, and it's easy again to generalise and say, oh, they don't care, they're getting it. But of course they do, because they're professionals and they've got their careers and everything else. But it must be difficult managing young men like that.
You know where it's difficult to manage? You've got to pick an 11, and you've got a squad of about 20. Even sometimes more than 20 players. If you look at Chelsea's squad is massive because they've signed loads of players. How do you keep all of that squad happy?
Rest happy.
Because you know what your best 11 is and how you're going to play your best 11 and who's going to play. And you might need 2 or 3 off the bench. But if you keep picking that same 11 and they keep winning all the time and the same subs come on, what about the 4 or 5 when you get injuries? How are their heads going to be? But that is why managers are brilliant, and that's why they lean on a lot of their coaches as well. Coaches play a big part because the coaches are the people that go in between. If the manager has to make the decision of you're not playing, the coach and then go and speak to the player and tell him why he's not playing. And I think coaches play a big part in that. But listen, we're in any sports, we all have egos. We all think we should be playing.
Yes,
every player thinks they should be playing, and the manager's not right. I clashed with loads of my managers. If I could turn back the clock now, I would say to my manager, you probably made the right decision. But then I thought I was the best player in the world, and I thought I should be playing week in, week out. It's not until you get older and you look back on your career and think the manager made the right decision there. I don't always have to agree with him at the time.
No.
When you look back, you think he did make it.
And was the relationship such that you could tell him?
Yeah, I could tell him.
I should be playing. What's going on?
I used to do it with Steve Bruce. Steve Bruce, my manager that I had him at Crystal Palace, and then he took me to the Premier League with Birmingham City. He knew how to handle me. He knows I would rant and rave and go off on one, and he says leave him because he'll come back in 2 or 3 minutes and he'll apologise that he's made
on
a
the
mistake.
pitch? Or just...
Yeah, this is on the pitch, right. And in the mainly in training. If I didn't like a decision, because I was still passionate in training, I wanted to win every training session, I wanted to win all the games in training, so I was passionate. And because I think I've always been told, train how you play. You can't just go through the week of training like that and expect to turn it on a Saturday. So I try to train as hard as I can, put the effort in during the week, and then on Saturday you reap your rewards. And he just knew how to handle me. But I tell him, if he told me I wasn't playing on a Saturday, in a Friday he'd tell me, because if he told me on a Saturday, my head wouldn't be right if I was to come on. I'd be disappointed and I'd be questioning him for about half an hour, and in the end I'd get it, and it would get there and we'd talk about it, and then the Saturday I'd come on off the bench and score the winner and run over to him and said, don't ever do that again.
Actually I've only known you half an hour, but I can imagine you
yeah, that's me.
And how about, you're up front, you're striking all that, and you're up against some pretty tough people, I guess, trying to stop you. What's that like when you're going? Quite intimidating? Is it like us going out there and facing fast bowling?
Yeah,
You've
definitely.
got these big guys who are chopping you down.
And then you're playing against some world-class defenders as well, and you're thinking, and you keep feeling him coming in the back of you, elbowing you, you're going up for headers, and you're looking at the referee and he's not protecting you, and then you're thinking, well, the only way I've got to get out of this is I've got to use my elbows and back into the centre halves and stuff and be physical, because it is a physical game on football. But yeah, it's good, but you learn a lot. I think when I went and played international football and was playing in the Premier League, you're playing against the cream of the crop, the best defenders in the world. So you learn a lot, and you become streetwise, and that's the big thing I could say. Streetwise is massive. But I learned a lot from playing football. As I said, I was really privileged to play football because everyone wants to be a professional footballer or a professional cricketer, and it is hard to make it. So sometimes I sit back now and I pinch myself and said, I've lived everyone's dream. I've lived the boy's dream from South London who, was struggling, and then all of a sudden has come and been a professional footballer, and now doing the media. So if it ends tomorrow, which it ain't gonna end because I'm so positive, it's been a great journey for me, and that's the best thing I could do.
But that puts it all into context, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Listen, I made my family proud. I made myself proud, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah. How's your mum doing now?
She's all right. She's living her best life, to be fair. So she's very happy. She's proud of her son. She still tells me off now. Even I'm 45 years of age. Even if I go out, she still tells me off and says, "You should be home." I said, "Mum, I'm married with kids." She's like, "No, but you still should be home. Text me when you get home." But that's mums for you. It'll always be like that. Yeah.
Did she come and watch you play?
Yeah, she watched me play. Listen, could be 40, 50,000 in there. If I'm not doing it, that'd be the one woman you could hear screaming.
Oh, no,
and it'd be her saying, "You're not doing good enough." And then I'd look at her and say, "Are you really?" And then I'd say, "All right, I'm going to prove you wrong." And then I'd score and I'd go and celebrate, and she'd be like, "That's better." And it's because of what I said, why you've produced. And I was like, fair enough. So that's the kind of relationship me and my mum have had. Everyone knows it's a special bond, and it would never be taken away.
It's fabulous. Hey, it's been lovely meeting you, Clinton. Really has.
It's brilliant. I've really enjoyed it. I've met some good people since I've been here. You lot do.
I'm going to tease Carlos. about
Carlos.
Which ones did he get wrong?
He got nearly every cricket question wrong. And probably it was a West Indian cricket question. He got it wrong. No, he didn't really get the West Indian cricket wrong. I can't be that bad on Carlos. But I did. But he's a great guy, Carlos.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
I always remember the name when he hit this. I know it was horrible, but it was
horrible for poor old Stokes. But he has come back, Stokes. So that's the sort of
Stokes
thing.
has come back, and that
could finish a lesser person.
I know they're going to come back up, but one thing I will say, since he's had that knee injury operation, he looks really well. And England need him because his bowling's fantastic. You can tell I'm a bit of a Ben Stokes fan.
Okay.
All right.
Clinton, top man. Let's go and have some lunch. Love it to have had you.